Hey, welcome back. Hope you're enjoying the content on this channel. If you are, consider subscribing. And if you don't mind, let this video run all the way through. If you appreciate the content that's in it, please like and share. And like I said before, if you don't mind, consider subscribing. It helps get the word out to more veterans. It helps get these videos out to them to spread the news. All right, with that said, let's talk today about the DBQ, the Disability Benefits Questionnaire. Now, they're all a little bit different, but they all follow the same format, right? And we're going to talk about the format of a DBQ. And you should take and go to the links that are in my channel description and get those DBQs, go to that website, check it out. There's also a Reddit page out there that has all of the disabilities and all of, the DBQ types that are out there that you can reference. But the VA has them all readily available for you. And I suggest everybody gets them for any disabilities that you're going to be claiming. If you have a mental health claim and it's other than PTSD, get the mental health other than PTSD. If you have PTSD and you're getting screened for that, get the PTSD screening DBQ and look at everything that is supposed to happen in your CMP exam. That is a very, very big thing for you to understand before you walk in the door. Now, why is it important? Well, let's just go through the sections, right? The first section is the header information. It's got all your information, your name, your ID, your service details, etc., relevant deployments, and so on. The next section is usually diagnoses. That is, hey, do you have a current diagnosis of these diseases or these conditions? Do you have, what are the specific ICD codes, which comes into play when you read your rating sheet, which I just did a video about last week or 2 weeks ago. And then it has the dates of those diagnoses, right? So those are critical pieces of information. I'm sure everybody knows diagnosis, service event, connection between the two, and that's where it has to be, right? Those are the things that have to be there. Next is your medical history. Hey, when did this initially happen? How has it progressed? Have you had previous treatments, etc.? Those types of things are going to be asked in that DBQ. Next is the most critical one that I can actually bring to mind. Symptoms, symptomology. Symptoms is how VA ratings are given. They're by symptoms, right? So if you have PTSD, and it causes you to not be able to go and hang out with your friends and you're disconnected from your family, and et cetera, that's a specific level on the rating. If it's PTSD and it bothers you once every 3 to 6 months, that's a different level of the rating. So understanding what the CMP examiner is going to be asking you about, your symptoms. Hey, give us an entire symptom list. Make sure that you have documented either in your head or bring notes with you. Hey, I've got these symptoms. This is how often they happen. This is the severity. And this is really critical. This is the impact on my daily life. How does this impact your day-to-day living, your work, your family time, your friends, being able to go outside, being in crowds, being in traffic? There's a lot of these things that go into that, right? How does this affect you? Do you have a cane that you have to use all the time because you have a leg injury, right? There's a lot of things that go into there. You just need to be able to clearly disseminate what those symptoms are. Next they have is clinical findings and the diagnostic testing. So if applicable, right? They'll do a physical exam. For instance, on arms and legs and limbs, there's a range of motion, right? Can you lift your arm up all the way, or can you only lift it so far and it can't bend at the elbow, etc.? That's going to be your physical examination. Test results. What are the test results from previous things? Again, going with the arms and legs, if you've been to the doctor and you've had blood tests and you've had x-rays and you've had MRIs, you have CT scans, all that stuff is going to be in there. And then, obviously, like I just said, the measurements pertinent to the condition. 30%, 30 degrees, 90 degrees, 45 degrees, all makes a big difference on what you're rated for, okay? Next is a detailed area of the functional impact. Functional impact, how does this limit your ability to work? How does it limit your ability to socialize outside of work? And do you need special accommodations? Now remember this. Does your workplace provide you special accommodations because of the symptoms of your diagnosis, right? And an example of that is, hey, I can't stand to be in crowds, too many people, I start having anxiety attacks, panic attacks, etc. My employer has decided it was better for me to work at home so that I'm in a safe environment, right? That's a special accommodation. Now, it may not be one that gains you any extra money, but it needs to be documented in case it does get you more compensation. Awesome. So we've got that. Next, you've got like the regular remarks section where the doctor can say, hey, here's some clarifications on what we saw before, examiner notes, you know, just, hey, this is my experience with this from the CMP examiner. How is it being managed? Are they really taking care of it? You know, the CMP examiners are going to write all this stuff down. And then there's the examiner's certificate, the credentials, the date, the whole 9 yards at the bottom of the DBQ. All right, listen, let's talk about the DBQ as a whole. The DBQ is a guide for the CMP examiner to document where you're at rating-wise. The rater will take that documentation, take that exam, take all the medical evidence, take the diagnosis, take the connections, take the in-service event, and they will run it up against the 38 CFR. And the 38 CFR is where you're going to find those answers of what level does that really make you fit in. You know, do you get 10%, 30%, 50%, 70%, 100% disability for these things? So get your DBQs, use the link in my channel, and hopefully it'll help you understand what you're facing when you go into your CMP exams. Hey, thanks again for watching. Take care.